So it gets underway anyway. And straight away, two Derry players almost collide there. Patsy Bradley made the contact. Results in a free anyway. And for the protest, the ball is moved further up the field. So Aaron Kernan has this chance to kick it in. Ryan Henderson touching it down. Made an impact in the league final. Here's Brian Mallon. Oh, what a good stop. Glorious chance there for the opening goal of the match. And full credit to Barry Gillis. Great goalkeeping. So still scoreless as they try to make progress here with Declan Mullen leaving it off here as far as Mark Lynch kicking it off his left in spite of the late challenge, and it's brilliantly over the bar. Opening point of the Ulster Championship. Mark Lynch, the 24-year-old from Banagher. Kieran McKeever out here as far as Andy Mallon. Back from one Mallon to the other. That's from Brian to Andy, not related. Finian Moriarty. Dangerous ball in there towards Henderson, did enough to break it. To Aaron Kernan, skipping away onto his right, over the bar. Normally favours the left, but shows that he's just as adept using his right boot. The two players go to ground, and this time Owen Bradley with a quizzical look on his face towards referee Maurice Deegan.
It's coming. It's coming. Yeah, he tripped him. He didn't get the front position. That was his problem. The Armagh number 2, Andy Mallon, had the front position, and he just took the legs from under him.
Kieran Toner now back into the middle here. James Lavery feeding it across, and the elegant Garrett Swift once more. Lavery trying to take a return ball, pursued by Patsy Bradley, who did well. Sean Liam McGoldrick released as far as Mark Lynch. Derry looking for the lead again. Lynch trying to knife his way through. Does well. It's a great ball. Fergal Doherty. Oh yes! Back of the net. And Paddy Bradley inevitably. Half an hour gone, and Paddy Bradley gets the opening goal of the game. Mark Lynch knifed his way through. A lovely little 1-2 involving Fergal Doherty. Lovely return to Paddy Bradley into the back of the net, and Bradley's got his 16th ever championship goal, and it's won 4 to 4 points. Andy Mallon gets after this one, did well, showed good pace on as far as Paul Duffy. Armagh trying to finish strongly now. End of this first half, came back, and Duffy was caught by Ramy Wilkinson, who pleaded his case with the referee, but referee Maurice Deegan not one bit interested. Free in.
And again, Ger, that was a, sorry for cutting across you, that was a handy enough one too there, I'd have to say.
Just trying to wait to see who makes way. It looks like James Lavery is making his way across towards the far side of the field. Stevie McDonnell. Curling in. That one is another beauty. He's within a point of 200 points in all in championship football. Sean Liam McGoldrick touching it down, but only to an Armagh man who was fouled. That was Brian Mallon. Inside quickly to Stevie McDonnell. Stevie McDonnell kicking, chipping. That's over the bar. 4 in the first half for Stevie McDonnell. Owen Bradley hasn't scored so far. Well cut out. Moriarty back to Toner. Patsy Bradley under it, can't keep it away from Charlie Vernon, however. Doherty's chasing him, still Vernon. Gets in a very good kick and a very good point. First of the day for Charlie Vernon. 4th ever point in championship football, and Armagh steal back into the lead again.
He's under so much pressure from Fergal Doherty, who doesn't foul him, pushes out, makes the angle wider, even gets a bit of a block on it.
Gillis again going long. And again it is won by Armagh. Knocked over was Brian Mullen, the referee has decided. It's a huge one down, taken here well. Henderson, and he cracks it over the bar. His first point of the day and his first point in the championship. And it's Armagh who lead the match by 2 points. Owen Bradley. Nicely inside, very much a left-footed player. Now he's got a chance, and he cracks it over the bar. First of the day for Owen Bradley. And that's Derry's first score of the second half, and it's taken them 10 minutes. Barry McGoldrick. Slipped inside here towards Kielt. McGoldrick again, back out towards his brother, Sean Leo. Has been a fine colleges star. Barry McGoldrick. Derry taking an awful lot of passes. Nobody prepared to make that vital incisive run through or that assertive pass through the centre. Sean Leo McGoldrick again, bottled up. It inevitably was going to happen. They were going absolutely nowhere. And Armagh still lead the match by 10 points to 1-9, 10 points to 1-6, 10 points to 9. That time, a card will surely be shown.
And he's on yellow already, Owen Bradley.
And Owen Bradley has been in difficulty, and he's got another yellow and therefore a red. And Derry are down to 14 players in the 55th minute.
Had to be, Ger, I'm afraid.
Referee left with no doubt. And now it becomes a very, very difficult match for Derry to win with 14 players. Advantage Armagh, but they can't make headway here. Gillis to Bateson, out as far as Patsy Bradley. Racing forward as MacDonald is going back to try and make the extra body back there. Michael Bateson again. Now Mark Lynch. Bateson lets it spill. It's on the ground and it's a free to Armagh. Very often, as we know in football, 14 can beat 15 by virtue of the fact that they put in so much extra effort. And that's a great ball to Clark, and that's a brilliant finish. Armagh's goal scored by their substitute, Jamie Clark. On his championship debut, he's only on the park about 6 or 7 minutes. It was a great ball by Stevie McDowell. And a terrific, cool finish past Barry Gillis, way into the corner. And Jamie Clark has made it 1-10 to 1-6. Huge one in. And quickest to react back there is Mal Mackin. Andy Mallon now. Oh, bit short. Donaghy required. He's a secure defender. Playing it very short. Dangerous. Oh, that's silly defending. Oh, that could be a penalty. Surely it is. Oh, Ma. Calamitous defending at the back. What were they doing? That is as daft as I've seen from an experienced group of players. That's the end result there where Finney and Moriarty went down. But they had possession. They had an opportunity to get that ball out of defence with only 5 minutes of the 70 to go. And there's a yellow card for Finney and Moriarty for his part in all of that.
Paddy Bradley is going for it. Finney Moriarty is going for it. Like, he's got the ball. I
think he might have got the man as well. Let's see.
Well, I'm not convinced about that now, I'd have to say.
This is a critical moment of the match. Something which Derry could scarcely have envisaged when they were mounting that last attack. They're behind by 1-10 to 1-6. Oh, well saved by Paul Hearty. Well, they can miss penalties in the cup final and did so twice yesterday at Wembley. And this one was stopped by Paul Hearty from Gerard O'Kane's kick. And Joe Diver has it. Patsy Bradley. Again, Armagh content to keep Derry at bay. Every opportunity. Mark Craig. In through the centre they go and look for an opening through Brian O'Mcallary, and Brian O'Mcallary wins a free kick. It'll cut the deficit if he puts it over the bar to 3 points, but we've already played a minute and a half of the added time. Derry need 2 scores to tie the match. Mark Lynch, his 3 points came in the first half. So there's a goal between them. Just about raises a cheer from the Derry fans. They must be bitterly disappointed. And Paddy O'Rourke has done a very, very good job getting his team properly prepared here. They came with the right attitude, had a good league campaign, and he's built a settled side. It's all over, and Armagh have come to Celtic Park and they have beaten Derry. Paddy O'Rourke may have to thank his goalkeeper Paul Hearty for that very fine penalty save. But at Celtic Park, they've come and they've conquered, and they've won here by 110 to 1-7.
First of all, I don't really think it was a penalty, but it turned out it was, and I suppose Jerry Kidd stepped off the take. I just tried to stay in the lane as often as possible. You know, with the goal spot being so close to the goal now, I think you probably have to make a decision beforehand. So managed to sort of pick the right way and block it out, thank God, you know.
We can't say we didn't create the chances, and I suppose, you know, the biggest, I suppose, whenever you look at the game from our perspective, and you'll pull out separate instances from it, but you know, we were 3 points up after we scored the goal, and we should have really consolidated that before half time, and that's possibly, when you look back, that might be really where you feel we lost the initiative in the course of the game.
Kieran Whelan, there was a lot of negative comment from the lads this afternoon about how dour this game was. Now, you're a child of the modern game. What did you think of that game today?
Yeah, rightly so, Des. It was a poor game, littered with over 50 frees in it, but it's turned into a possession game now, and you know, it's keep possession at all costs and avoid turnovers, and what happened there today was typically 2 teams trying to get men behind the ball, and we're seeing more and more teams adapt to it. You know, Armagh play a spinal type system, getting 12 men behind the ball, leave 1 man on the 40 and 2 inside, and it doesn't make good watching. It was poor. It was a poor game.
Did Armagh adapt a lot better? Were they deserving winners?
They were deserving winners. Having said that, the penalty, you know, would have got Derry back into it. They would have had momentum with 5 minutes to go, but they were the better team on the day and deserved their victory.
Anthony, expand a bit on what Kieran's talking about these mass defences.
Well, I suppose that it's really no surprise. If you look at other field sports, you know, soccer, rugby, they're all played with everyone behind the ball. And Gaelic football has only adopted this in recent times, and it's become the norm now, and it's proven to be the successful way of doing things. Is you protect what you have at the back, and then you only commit to going forward when you feel that it's right to do so. And a lot of players, you have All Irelands are being won with this type of system, but All Irelands are also being won by very, very good attacking play and very, very high quality and skillful players. But teams that have not got to that level are adopting the defensive strategy.
Let's have a look at
evidence today, and it led to a very, very poor and unentertaining game of football. Essentially, you know, unless you move the ball extremely quickly out of defence, you're going to end up getting bottled up. And you see Derry coming forward, a succession of hand passes across the pitch, and you know, you think, why are they not kicking the ball in? Who are they going to kick it into? The one guy inside, and there's a complete sea of Armagh jerseys. So unless you get it in quick, the opportunity to score is gone. So then you're trying to work it through, and Derry got their goal by working the ball through a crowded defence. But here, nothing on, and they just keep fisting the ball across the pitch until it's turned over very, very cheaply. And this here actually led to the Owen Bradley getting sent off. This is the way, if you can, I'm not saying you kick everything in long, but a good long direct ball. And it was interesting that it was Stephen McDonald was kicking that ball in rather than being on the receiving end of it. And I suppose there may be a bit of a gripe there, but whether that was a Seamus Darby type push there.
A
but
nudge.
On balance, I think Armagh, they shaded that they were maybe better organised defensively. The 2 key turnovers, the one for the goal came from a Derry turnover, the sending off came from a turnover. So all in all, a poor game, and not added in a positive way by the refereeing performance, which was again far too fussy, and we'll come onto that in a bit more detail.
Okay, we'll chat about that later. 2 penalty decisions, obviously key points in a tournament.
Yeah, one in the first half and one in the second half. The first was from Armagh in the first half. A high ball into the square, Malik Mackin gets it, and in my opinion he was clearly taken out of it, so that should have been a penalty. Here we'll see a replay of that in a second. high ball in, catches it, and off his feet, taking it out of it. I think that's a stone cold penalty in anyone's book. The second one was in the second half, and I think that's a penalty as well.
Kieran Whelan?
Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, the first one, Fergal Doherty led with his leg and took the man out. He had the ball in his hand, and similar, Paddy Bradley had caught that ball and was taken clean out.
Yeah, we'll talk about this in a minute now with Paul here. He's saving the ball, maybe coming off his line. But again, there's a new rule, 11 metres out. You should nearly guarantee that you're going to score, but didn't. Good save. Yeah. We'll talk about coming off the line later on.
It was the right height for the keeper,
The right height, definitely. Yeah. It should make it chances more of scoring in games, and it's the right thing to do to make it 11 metres out, because you have to be punished for pulling somebody down in the square.
All right, and speaking of that and the cards, etc., discipline was, well, an issue today.
Well, for me, it was all the stoppages in the game. There wasn't too much in the line of bad strikes and stuff like this. This is Owen Bradley's second yellow card. The first one was off the camera, so we don't have it. This is the second one. No, definitely harsh. I think there's a yellow card, but if that was, as we were talking about later on, in the All-Ireland semi-final or final, it wouldn't have been a yellow card.
But the ref was right.
The ref was right, definitely. Here we see a good shoulder, blows him straight out over the sideline, and straight away number 5 comes in here, and that's Gerard O'Kane. That's the guy I think should have got the yellow card, Gerard O'Kane, for coming in and getting involved. It would have been a sideline, and they would have got on with the game, and there'd have been no messing. Good work by the sideline and the referee here, trying to make peace and get on with the game. But I think the third guy coming in is the guy that should got the yellow card. I thought it was a good shoulder, and it's a shame that there's so much stoppages. It is taking the physicality out of the game, and it shouldn't, because it is championship football is about tough, hard, fair football.
All right, given all you said, we asked you to nominate 3 men for man of the match. Who did you go for?
Yeah, well, there was 3 people we went for. Andy Mallon, number 1, fantastic game at cornerback, marking Owen Bradley, and didn't really give him a hop of a ball. Had a fantastic game. We went for one of the Derry players, Mark Lynch. I thought he was really good in the first half, driving through, made the goal, drove through the heart of defence, and was really very good in the first half. And of course, Stephen MacDonald at number 14. We saw the long ball in there, setting up the goal. He got nearly all the scores. Fantastic player, doing really well again this year.
All right, and Kieran, who did you?
Des, we went for a defender. We went for Andy Mallon. He tracked Owen Bradley all day. He kept him to 1 point from play. And sometimes cornerback play, they don't get the credit, they don't get the man of the match awards, and it's the toughest position to play on the field, and he done a superb job tracking Owen Bradley, as I said, all day, and was a well-deserved winner, man of the match. The
role of the cornerback has changed, though, hasn't it? I mean, with the movement of players, etc.
It is, but it's still a difficult position. You know, all the top players, the Michael Means, the Gooch Coopers, these guys are all in corner forwards, and you know, you look at cornerbacks' faces before big matches, and they just be white with fear. You know, so it's a tough position to play.
Okay then. Well, let's hear from the man of the match then, Andy Mallon, chatting with Joanne Cantwell.
It's just a typical Ulster Championship match, you know, hard hitting. You come up to Derry, you get on handy, you know. We had to fight for our lives to get out here today, you know, so thank God the boys pulled it out of the bag, you know.
The overall view, though, from the Armagh camp seems to be, while happy with the win, not too happy with the performance.
No, it's nowhere near. I'd say we're about 60% there at the minute performance, what we were looking, you know. But, you know, you come to Derry, it's not going to be easy. Like, Ulster Championship is always hard, but it's all about the win, you know.
Well done, Andy, and a boost for cornerbacks everywhere. Now, it's competition time.